I wish I would have brought one of those crayons back.
Oh yeah, I got a monopoly on the crayons. They're all mine.
I'm finna rob you.
Yeah, well, we are live though. People are coming in right now. Welcome back to another stream, another TD3 Tuesday. Yesterday we were supposed to be live. Some stuff came up. We had to do it today. Another Tuesday stream like usual. Get used to it.
Exactly. It's one or
Where the
the
real
other.
eaters at? Where are the real eaters at?
I can promise you every week we will be live. I cannot promise you the day or the time, but we will be live in the first 2 days of the week. I promise.
How y'all feeling?
Rested, I guess. I mean, I woke up from a nap like an hour ago, so I'm feeling pretty
I
good.
can relate.
I was about to call
Yeah,
you
man.
Rance. Why the fuck you have to throw out my business like that? I was napping too, goddammit.
That's the biggest rapper I ever met. Yeah, but everybody come in. As you guys see by the title of today's stream, we're going to be doing a bracket of the most underrated players in the NBA. So how I did this was I made a community post this morning where I asked you guys to name, the most underrated players in the league, who you want to see in this bracket.
They
And I
they
just
said
went
they
through
can't hear you, Isaac.
Oh. All right. That's annoying.
They,
I've been
they
talking
said
this whole
they said
time.
you're low.
Oh, I'm low. Okay. Let me turn it
Yeah.
up. Should be better now. I had it
There
low
you
on
go.
purpose.
You're much better.
There you go.
Okay. I had it low on purpose because it's always hard because I can't tell how loud you guys come through for them. So I move mine super low. But okay. Like I was saying, I made a community post where I asked you guys who the most underrated players in the league are. And I made a bracket of the top 32 of the most common names I saw on there, plus people that we've talked about in the past as being underrated. So, you know how brackets work. We're one by one. And it's not going to be who's better. It's going to be who's more underrated.
More underrated. So this is more so like how we think
they're
other
perceived.
crown eaters of the world and how they're perceived in the basketball world. Not us,
exactly.
but just how they're perceived. Okay.
Someone said Mo is muted. Let me see if they're trolling me. I know the setting now to decide if Mo's muted or not, so I can go ahead and check it. And nope, Mo has monitor and output. Donovan is monitor and output. They're trolling.
They're liars.
Get fucked.
Liars.
Someone said Don looks like Chubbs. They're spamming OVO Chubbs.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw a picture of him on Instagram the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, they're right. They got me. They got me."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, a lot of them were like iffy. We talked about in the past. Norm, Mikal Bridges, all these guys. It's like I get it, but not really. Chubbs is the one.
That's me. That's him.
That's a good comparison too.
He is me, and I am him.
Someone said it's a little too quiet. Let me turn up the output.
I think you're good.
Okay, should be good. Actually, it does look kind of low. Let me. Might be too loud.
I'm listening. I was listening to it earlier just now, and you're good. But now it might be a little loud.
All right, let me go back.
Loud as hell.
Yeah, I listened to it, and you were good.
Okay, well then we're gonna stick to what we're doing right now. I'll just talk loudly. But yeah, before we get to the bracket, the main part of today's stream, as always, we have our document of news stories. And it's mid-August, not exactly a ton of news going on, but we got what we can.
Scrape just kill it. It's gonna be so funny. Isaac's voice is gonna be gone. He's just yelling for an hour and a half.
They're setting us up. Why you set us up like this on this glorious
Mexican
Tuesday?
OT. I don't look anything like a Mexican OT. He's just Mexican.
Oh no. The comparison for Isaac, as y'all know, is like Lord Farquaad and fucking Nick Wright. That's it. That's it.
Nick Wright and Klay Thompson are the best ones.
No, Lord Farquaad for sure. That one. It's taking
First
with you,
news
buddy.
story. Jonathan Kuminga is seeking a $224 million max extension from the Warriors. Would you pay Jonathan Kuminga a max extension at this point of his career?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Now you better go somewhere. I don't you're just not getting the money. There's no way that you can come into the office, ask for this contract, and leave thinking that it was like a reasonable offer and thinking that we had an actual conversation. I might nod my head yes, but it's just gonna be like, okay, like you can leave now. It's just gonna be out of pure politeness. You're not getting this money, Jonathan. It's not happening.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, listen, fucking everybody, every young player gets a max extension these days. You just have to be like competent. You don't even got to be great. Like Michael Porter Jr. got a max extension because he was a good role player on a winning team. It doesn't take a whole lot. The bar is not high. But I don't know. Jonathan Kuminga's pushing it.
They're not winning.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, like, they're not winning, and this is his first year actually like getting real opportunities. So it's like it's not like to me, it's not like a hell nah, because it's like, yeah, if you got more minutes, you probably would have produced more, you know, because he was very well. Like, remember, he was coming off the bench routinely earlier in the season, and then weird rotational stuff happened towards the end of the year too. it's not a hell nah, but it's just hard because it's like he hasn't felt proven yet, and it doesn't feel like he's essential. Like Michael Porter Jr. got
Hell,
paid like that because it felt like he was essential.
it's not a hell no. What? This is Jonathan Kuminga. Like it's fine. It's
It's
okay. This is something that I think the NBA needs to get back to, which is telling guys no. It's okay. It's okay that Jonathan Kuminga is not a max player, but like I understand that with the way that like contracts are set up, the way that CBA like people are going to get max contracts that aren't necessarily that valuable, but at the same time, if that is what a max contract player is, that's just ridiculous. Like he just
if
can't he just can't be a max contract kind of guy.
I have
It,
two
it
gripes.
can't happen.
Just two gripes. First and foremost, I wouldn't say hell nah. I would just say, nah, you good. There's a difference. And then secondly, too, if Jonathan Kuminga can get a max deal like that level, do you feel like you can get a minimum? That's what you're basically telling me? Because you make it sound like that crazy as if he's like, yeah, you know?
Can Donovan
It
get a 10
is
day?
crazy. I should not get a minimum. I should not get a 10-day. I should not be allowed to be a practice player for an
I think
NBA
you
for
could.
an NBA
You're pretty
team.
nice.
And if Jonathan
I seen your
Kuminga,
defensive stance.
listen, I slide. That's the
You
one thing I
strap
paid
shit
attention to.
down.
That's how I got on the floor. You know me, right? But if Kuminga ends up getting a max contract, then I have a chance to do that, and that just shouldn't happen. It's okay. He's a role player. He's a role player. He's getting $224 million. Would you feel comfortable paying Jonathan Kuminga like $50 million a year? Think
No.
about that.
Mm,
Are you comfortable paying
mm.
him $50 million a year?
50 million
No,
sounds
I'm
Hell
not. We can move
no.
on.
You
Hell
are
no.
not okay with that. No, you're not getting the deal. Go somewhere else. No.
Shout out to Ferris22 for tipping $10. He said, "What does Kevin Durant's fourth medal do for his legacy?"
You can go ahead
Not
and
a
talk
damn
about that if
thing,
you
but
want.
shout out Kevin Durant for winning 4 gold medals. That's pretty awesome.
He's Falcon.
One of the greatest
What he
Americans
is.
to ever live, if you ask me.
There we go.
Salute.
He's definitely in the, it does a lot for his Team USA legacy. He's very high in the list. He's up there with, honestly, he might just be number one. He's
No,
probably
he's
the best
won.
Team USA player of
He's
all
won.
time. Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah, he's leading. All-time leading in scoring over there. 4 medals. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that would do a lot for a lot of people's legacy. But Kevin Durant is so cemented in terms of how good he is. Like, in terms, when you rank somebody all time, you kind of balance the accomplishments and the talent. He's already maxed the talent out. So the gold medal and like Team USA accolades don't really do a whole lot when the only thing he's missing is like individual accomplishments and rings by himself leading a team. So nothing could really change where he's at besides that, I think.
Yeah. And
KD.
I think like moving forward, it's going to be really interesting seeing how gold medals are perceived going forward, because it's getting harder and harder for Team USA to win a gold medal. Like if you ask me about the gold that they got in 2012, like yeah, they should have stomped over everybody. If you ask me about the gold that they got in like 1996 when there was like 20 international players in the league, yeah, you guys should have ran the league. But every country has 2 to 3 solid NBA players, then everybody else can play. There's also a lot of continuity. So move in like the next Olympics, it's gonna be a battle. Like you saw it this time. They had to come back from 17 down to get these gold medals. So moving forward, it's gonna be very cool to see like how many people can stack up, because there's going to be a team in the next 2 to 3 Olympics that doesn't get a gold medal, and you're gonna have to start like realizing kind of the value of them.
Yeah.
Question.
Shout out to Axel for tipping $3. My bad, Mo. He said, "Keep up the good work, fellas. Cum bucket is delusional. Is Delulu to be specific?" Is what he said.
He is
I can't
delulu.
believe that's his nickname. That always throws me off every single time. Come bucket.
He has to fight people for that.
Did
What was
Kenny
your question,
make
Mo?
that? I think Kenny made that popular, which is hilarious.
Yeah. God. So not on brand for him either.
I know.
just- so my question was, which team was better? Which Olympic team was better? Like 1992 or 2024?
Probably
2024.
24.
But with that, why is that the comparison? The real answer is 2012. 2012 was the best team. We keep doing this 24 versus 92 thing for the who's the best. We forget that we've already crowned 2012 at that time. We had these conversations back then, and I don't really think this team's any better than that team.
Who's a part of the 2012? Again, Melo, of course, Braun.
Kevin
Was Wade
Durant,
there as well?
LeBron, Dwayne
Yeah.
Wade, Kobe Bryant, Melo,
I got you right
young
now.
Anthony Davis, Chris Paul. There's another big man on the team. Was it Tyson Chandler? I can't remember. It wasn't Dwight.
Yeah, it was Tyson, Russell Westbrook, LeBron, Kobe, Kevin Love, KD, James Harden, Darren Williams, Chris Paul, Melo, Anthony Davis, Iguodala.
And Kobe was still very, very good at that time. That was right before his knee blew up. I mean, his Achilles. That team was incredible. 2012 LeBron, Dwayne Wade before his knee blew up. Like, they had everybody.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so now the
KD
question
is, KD
shifts.
is stupid. KD was averaging 20 points a game in the run.
That's
20
insane.
points in Olympic competition is insane.
Is that equivalent to like 35 in the NBA?
Damn
Yes.
near.
Ah, that's crazy.
He
So I
shot
guess
52% from three during the Olympics that year.
the question now
Ridiculous.
is 2012 or 2024?
2012.
2012.
Mm,
I
Like
think it was
pretty
12,
pretty easily.
24, 92.
okay.
Yeah.
The 92 team, like, they were obviously stacked, but they played, like, international basketball was a joke at that time. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, they look amazing. They blew everybody out. Jordan also was being unserious, not trying. He shot like 45% from the field. He put up prime Jason Tatum numbers in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Prime
And
Jason
and
Tatum.
like and I would like Anthony Davis at that time. I like you have AD's probably a little bit more impactful than what Christian Laettner was able to bring to the 92 team. Larry Bird back was destroyed at that point. Like,
Mm.
Magic had to, that was part of his like comeback was the dream team. So you have like 3 or 4 spots already on that team where you're not at your peak, you're not at your
True.
apex, where basically after they get bronze in 04, they're like, yeah, this is never happening again. We're just going straight
Yeah.
demons every 4 years.
Shout out, listen, we got almost 500 people in here right now. Shout out everybody here in the dead of the offseason watching NBA content. Do us a favor, drop a like on the stream. Get us to 500 likes on the stream. Help it keep going. The more likes we get while we stream, the more people will see it in their feed as we go on. So do us a favor and help get more degenerates in here.
Thank you so much.
Next news story. Trae Young says a lot of NBA players view this year's draft class as role players. He said this on Podcast P. He said, no disrespect to the guys that got drafted. Some guys might surprise us, but a lot of us look at them as role players coming in anyway. A lot of these guys could be role players, so all the GMs really just trying to figure out who's going to be the best role player for their team. He's repeated himself like 3 times. He said, as good as Alex Sarr is, I don't think he's going to be their franchise player going forward.
1, you're rude for that. 2, shout out Podcast P, because he gets these guys talking
I know.
and
Shout out Trae
yapping
Young.
and just saying whatever. But that's very interesting. I mean, everybody's been saying basically the exact same thing. It's just very interesting to see an NBA player say the same thing about this upcoming draft class, especially when your team had the number 1 overall pick.
Exactly. That's what I was
That's the
going to say.
issue.
It's
That's
not that
the main issue.
This isn't crazy, right? Like it's not wrong per se. How does it? Again, we're getting real first takey and we're getting real Tony. Like, oh, what does it say? About
We're
the
being
team?
real.
Yeah, what does it say about him as a leader? But like, when you see an NBA star talk about a draft class this way, and it's not disrespectful necessarily, but you don't really see stars be this candid. How do you feel about that?
This is the issue with like player podcasts. This is when you just like get way too comfortable and you're just like very mindful of like the entire team situation and like the context that you yourself are in as a player. Your team just got the number 1 overall pick. People were calling your guy the man that you were showing support for in summer league the Harrison Barnes of the NBA draft.
Baguette Barnes.
They said that's our guy number 1, and to say that out loud, like if I'm let's say probably not on social media like that, but still, it's just not an overall good look. I'm not going to say it diminishes him as a leader because what he's saying is not wrong, but at the same time, too, it's just like read the room and you don't have to like, be this comfortable in front of the mic because it just damages some things, That's our job. There's the line right there. This is our job. This is what we're supposed to do. You stay in your lane.
Well, this is listen, this episode I'm assuming is like either just came out or is about to come out.
Yeah.
This is what happens when it's August 13th and the Olympics end and there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
And now you really, really just get people yapping and just saying whatever. And you're trying to figure out, right, how to make it interesting, how to have a nice conversation. And I'm not saying that, Trae Young is like engagement farming or anything like that, but you probably, I don't know, like you just ask this question, you just get to talking because you're bored. And that's probably what comes out.
Yeah. Interesting tidbit. I don't really think it's a problem necessarily. I'm not going to, I don't give a fuck about him as a leader and what it says. Like, whatever. He's just being honest. It's just very, like Mo said, interesting what happens when NBA players get their own podcast and we get to hear them be candid about stuff like this. Because I'm sure
Yeah.
these guys have always thought stuff like this. We just don't hear it very often. So, just slightly interesting.
Mhm.
Fair.
Next thing, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about the Larry Markkinen saga. Larry Markkinen re-upped at the end of last week. Basically signed a contract extension that meant he can't be traded at all over the next season because by the time his, what do you call it, moratorium on being traded comes, the trade deadline will be passed. So
Yeah.
the Warriors didn't get him, and it's reported that their final offer for him was Moses Moody, multiple first-round picks, pick swaps, and second rounders. They refused to include Brandon Pajemski or Jonathan Kuminga. How does that make y'all feel?
Woo. You know how like every single trade that happens or that doesn't happen for like a big star player, or whatever, there's like singular player that's like, oh man, you let XYZ player stop you from this like monumentous star player.
THT
Uh,
for getting Kyle Lowry.
exactly. This is like the THT type, similar, same exact vibes. Pods is great. He's way better than THT, of course. But at the same time, too, Steph Curry's at the peak powers of his career. Well, not peak. Obviously, we don't see that from him anymore. But he's
Damn
just
near, I
right
get it.
there,
You saw a couple
And
days ago.
for you to not give
Frank saw it.
everything for this last run, clearly is going to be one of his last runs at a real chance to win. It's just kind of damning and disappointing. But I can understand from like a future standpoint, but it's still disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point that the words are at, and you see it, you've really seen it over the last 2 years or last couple years with Steph and the Warriors, and then with Bron and the Lakers. And people, we talk basically every single day whenever the team is not good enough about, oh, you have to maximize the window, you have to maximize the window. It's a weird balance of, hey, I'm the GM and I have to do what's best for the team and for the team's future, and the other side being, hey man, listen, the game is the game. And you know that when you have Steph, when you have LeBron, if you have one of these other guys that are at the tail end of their prime, you're gonna get robbed. And you have to just agree that you are going to allow yourself to get fleeced, to put yourself in a win now position to improve the team. And so if Pods is, part of that group that goes out, I guess like it kind of just has to happen, because who do you have to have more loyalty to in that moment? Do you say we're gonna rock with Steph, or no, like this team actually needs at least another young rotation piece that we can start building around or start including in the future? But and like if Lowry's not one of the 5 best players in the world, then we're not gonna do that, I guess. But you still have to say, no, like Steph is here. He's still averaging, 20
Yeah.
high 20s. We have to make that move.
Someone said in the chat, ain't no way Mo got that Giannis pick on his wall. Listen, that Giannis pick is going nowhere ever. It's going to be with us forever.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm right. When I have a kid, I'm putting this bitch right in front of his crib, bro. Swear to God, he's gonna be raised with that.
Look
This
at
is
that.
history. If you know, you know.
I'm going to make you real big in your solo cam. Let's see Giannis in full HD. Look at that, y'all. There it is. It's never going
Here's
anywhere.
my man's.
There's my mans. Yeah, man. So, listen, the rest of these news stories I have written down bore me. It's time to get into the thing we're all here for, the bracket of the most underrated players in the NBA. Y'all, we have 180 likes right now. Can you get us to 250 by the time we finish this first debate? We'll see. But let me pull
I
this
don't
bracket
think
right
so.
now.
Y'all bag not deep enough, and y'all ain't locked in. But prove me wrong. I dare you.
So as you go, let me show you guys my screen. I hate that I have to like reshare it every time I switch windows. But as you guys can see, I have this bracket here with 32 of the most underrated players in the NBA, as voted on by you guys, or as suggested by you guys. So real simple. We're gonna go one by one to decide who is more underrated between these multiple matchups, and get to a winner of the most underrated player in the NBA.
Let's talk about it.
The first matchup we
I don't know
got,
who
going
is.
back to the top. Oh, this is interesting. Aaron Wiggins versus LaMelo Ball.
Get Wiggins out of here. Sorry, it's LaMelo.
You think LaMelo's more
No.
underrated than Wiggins?
Yes. Wiggins is
What?
ass. What is LaMelo underrated? What is Wiggins underrated at?
All right, okay, you didn't hear me right. Aaron Wiggins, not Andrew
Oh,
Wiggins.
Aaron Wiggins. Gotcha. I thought you said Andrew. I was like, whoa.
No,
Bozo?
not Andrew. He's not sniffing a most underrated players list, but his brother
Okay,
is.
good.
Aaron Wiggins is nice.
That's not his brother.
know.
But yeah. I think I'm still gonna lean LaMelo because I think
Actually,
people
he's actually not related.
But I think I'm still taking Lamelo because I feel like people forget the disgusting amount of potential within this 6'7" point guard who has limitless range,
All right,
who's also
I'll
like
make a poll for all
learned to
these.
drive to the rim.
Limitless.
Yes, limitless range. Don't forget how quickly you forget about Lamelo Ball.
I'm not forgetting. I think LaMelo takes shots from very far, but I don't think that there's like two guys, two and a half that I think actually have limitless range. And that's obviously Steph and Dame. They are like clear cut cemented, and then Trae Young on like he's that other guy. I don't think that there's a lot of guys who really have a consistent limitless range like that. There
I want to
might
say
be an
that he shoots a lot of threes. Just that's let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
okay,
Okay, so
fine,
here's what it
but
is. We
I'll say
have
this though.
what's more underrated to you? A role player that's good, but nobody knows about him outside of hardcore fans, or a star player who is hated on and not expected much of because of various reasons, but has a potential to be really great.
But what do
Which
you
one?
mean not expecting much of? People still think that like LaMelo is going to come back and be an all-star.
This is peak off-season content. We're over here arguing Aaron Wiggins versus Lamelo Ball.
That's the whole list, bro. We're getting nasty today. Who's more underrated? Who's more slept on? And like the
It's
chat is
Aaron Wiggins.
voting right now. 66% is voting for Lamelo, but that's because it's Lamelo, and we have crayon eaters who like Melo. Who's more underrated? It's not who's better. It's not who has more potential. Who's more underrated? And I think it has to be Aaron Wiggins. You go ask any of y'all big brothers, any of y'all dads, anybody outside of the hardcore NBA world, who is Aaron Wiggins, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Huh? The guy in the
Exactly.
deli?
Yeah, who?
I'm going
But
Aaron Wiggins.
just because he's more unknown doesn't mean that he's more underrated. Like those two things don't.
That's okay. That's true. But there's a very big if it's a Venn diagram between unknown and underrated, the overlap between them is still very very big.
But I guess the
And
counter argument is not only is Lamelo Ball's not unknown, but he's hated, and he's people think negatively of him now because of injuries and everything, and people think that like it's not worth building around him, throw him away, we're done with this guy. That's like worse than being unknown. So I guess that would be the argument is that even if you think both of them deserve a lot more, one is actively rooted against at this point.
Yeah. That I think
But
this is
nobody's
a good
out here
one.
being like, man, like I love Aaron Wiggins. And granted, that's because like he is still Aaron Wiggins, like he is a role player, and I do understand that. But LaMelo Ball, no matter how bad LaMelo plays, he's still going to have a baseline of fans that are like, no, he's still this crazy player.
Yeah.
Like look at the passes, look at what he does, look at the highlights, and they're still going to think that he is one of the best point guards in the league when that isn't the case.
I think I decided the only reason why I'm leaning Aaron Wiggins is because he signed a ridiculously cheap deal and no one in the NBA atmosphere at all is talking about how much of a steal that deal was. I think it's like it's
It's like a
disgusting.
4-year, like $50 million deal.
I'm looking at chat. This
That's
is such a perfect
ridiculous.
representation of. This is so hilarious. Such a perfect representation of Lamelo discourse. Somebody in the chat said, "Bro, nobody hates Lamelo, Isaac." Next person, the next message says, "Melo is overhated." Next message says, "Melo is overrated." So he's
Crown eater
shit
brain
on,
right there in full
loved,
effect.
and then people saying nobody hates him. Nobody agrees on Lamelo. This is tough.
I'm going Aaron Wiggins.
Chat is
I'm
going
going
Lamelo
Aaron
by a
Wiggins
huge
because
margin.
he genuinely has like one of the best, or OKC got one of the best contracts in the entire NBA for a role player who can't be phased out in any situation.
All
So
right,
let's go
Aaron
Aaron
Wiggins, you
Wiggins.
move on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ferris22 for tipping $10. He says, if LaMelo never gets rid of the injury bug, where does that put him in terms of NBA disappointments? Pretty high. It sucks when a young all-star
Sure.
gets an injury bug. It's immediately pretty high.
It's
You've been
like when
seeing
the
this
third
dude
pick
who,
of the draft can't play basketball.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Tough.
mean, we've been seeing this dude hoop since he was like 14, 13 years old. Did the whole like went viral on Instagram consistently with his brothers. It would be disappointing as hell for sure.
Yeah. Next one, Drew Holiday or Keegan Murray. Perpetually underrated Drew Holiday for the past decade. Or Murray.
I hate that so much. Yeah, for the past decade is sounds like exaggeration, but it feels like it's. I think I'm gonna lean Keegan Murray. for sure. Because when you think of Keegan Murray, you just think of him like, oh, like Kings player, and that's it. When really, he's one of the best defenders in the NBA at his position specifically, and because of that, he's uber valuable and tremendously valuable to the Kings on a whole another light. So I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna lean Keegan Murray.
Yeah, because like, I mean, I put Drew because obviously a lot of comments were saying Drew Holiday in the post I made asking for names. Is Drew Holiday even underrated anymore? I think he's like a Hall of Famer now. He has gold medals. He has a championship ring. He's
If everyone
heralded
is
as
calling you underrated, then you're not underrated anymore.
yeah, he's
That's
heralded
simple.
as like the best perimeter defender we've ever seen in our modern NBA lifetimes. Like, I think underrated has been passed.
I agree.
All right, I got it.
You're gonna say Drew Holiday still?
Somehow, still, I just like I just don't feel the way that you initially felt with LaMelo and Aaron Wiggins. I feel here where, like, yeah, like less people probably know about Keegan Murray, but that doesn't mean that he's necessarily more underrated for what he does. Um, but there still might be a section of people who don't fully understand like how good Drew is. But I don't. I really just it's Keegan Murray. Just pick him. We'll move
You
on.
don't appreciate Keegan Murray, bro. Whenever we talk about the Sacramento
I guess
Kings,
I don't.
like
I guess I don't.
he's
So I guess
so
he is
brutal.
underrated.
Bro, y'all are ridiculous. In the chat, the Celtics fans are mad. Ariel says y'all just hate the Celtics. I just called him a Hall of Famer and said he's the best perimeter defender of the modern NBA. This is the opposite of hating the Celtics. This is appreciating a Celtic so much that we can't say he's underrated.
I can hate
What
the
do you
Celtics
want?
anymore, bro. I can't
What
hate
do you
them
want?
anymore. Yeah.
The poll right now has 55% Keegan, 45% Drew. We're rolling with chat this time. We're going Keegan Murray to move on.
Chat, you are correct. Good job.
The next matchup, interesting one. Julius Randle or Trey Murphy.
It's Trey Murphy, and he sweeps this 4-0.
Mm.
It's not close.
Interesting.
Trey-
Okay, why is that?
Close.
Trey Murphy is underrated not only by the national media, but he's also underrated by his own team because the Pelicans refuse to give him the minutes that he deserves. And hopefully going into this season, we will see him as a starter. But as of right now, they haven't made any moves to free up the space to play Trey Murphy. So he might start this year on the bench again, where Trey Murphy can go on basically like 26 other NBA teams and be a starter.
Chat is spamming Trey Murphy. Apparently, it's not close. People are saying Trey pretty easily.
I agree. That's no slight to Julius Randle. He's been an all-star already, an all-NBA player, all that other stuff. He's not underrated. Everyone knows who that is and knows how good he is too.
If we were
All right.
making a bracket right now, if this was March Madness, Trey Murphy would be like number 1 overall seed in this
Really?
in this bracket.
Ooh, so
Yes.
you think Trey's the most top 4 underrated player in the NBA?
Yes, I do.
All right. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, listen, if we all know if he gets a chance to start, he's going to be like the high-level role player that we talk about with his teammate, Herb Jones, with Nas Reed, with whoever. Like, these guys that we look at as, like, premier 6-man, premier 5th starters, Jaden McDaniels, whoever. Trey Murphy is literally just as good.
I agree.
Next
Spot on
one.
with that.
Ooh, this is a good one. Devin Vassell or Caleb Martin?
Devin Vassell or
It's
Caleb.
Devin Vassell, and it's not close.
Caleb
And
Martin's
it's-
good.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's,
So someone said the Caleb Martin Linsanity run is over in the first
Thank
round.
you.
now.
Damn.
Thank you. If we were talking about if Caleb Martin was the version, not even the full version, if Caleb Martin was 65% of what he was in the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago, every night, yeah, he could probably get this.
All right, I just
It's
tried to
not
sell it.
close.
Sorry, okay. I know I was gonna go Vassell pretty easily. Everyone's like Vassell. Somebody said Vassell's actually. I mean, Caleb Martin's actually overrated.
Wow. If Caleb Martin had to play the rest of his NBA career against the Celtics, then hey, he's one of the 15, 20 best players in the NBA. Sadly, scheduling don't work like that.
All right, man. Listen, I wouldn't have put Caleb Martin in the bracket at all. I wouldn't have even thought about him, but I saw him a few times in the comments. I put him there. Maybe there was just a couple 76ers fans that skewed the vote, but he's out of there. Desmond Bain or Cam Thomas?
Desmond Bain or Cam Thomas?
Hey, man, it's
What's
fucking
the,
Desmond Bain.
what's the demographic?
Hey, I put Cam Thomas in this bitch because the Crayon Eaters love Cam Thomas, and there was a lot of comments about him. He is the least underrated player on this list by far. That is not underrated whatsoever.
A lot of people know he's a bucket, and that's all it is to him. I would lean Desmond Bain for sure. Damn, I'm yawning a
I
bit.
know that
Oh
was a
my
big ass yawn. I was
gosh.
giving you a second to let it breathe. A moment of silence for your yawn.
Moment of
Jackass.
silence for the candy.
Someone said, is Russell Westbrook on this list? Fucking obviously not.
Yuck.
What do you guys
Desmond
think?
Bain.
Donovan, any words?
Desmond Bain for sure.
No, I'm
The
going to
playmaking is super underrated. Yeah, like
it's
one of the
kind of
better
easy.
shooters in the NBA. What are we
Oh my
talking about?
god, Bane has 91% of votes right now.
He's just
Bro,
bullying right now. Why did you
100,
put him
over
in poll?
100 people have voted. It's 93% Bane.
Damn. Let me have been 100. I'm gonna vote too.
Wow. Listen, I put it on. I thought maybe I was like, maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe people like Cam Thomas more than me, but there we go. This is a resounding blowout. That's almost embarrassing. Norm Powell or Andrew Nemhard?
Norm Powell or Andrew
Everyone's
Nemhard.
spamming Geodude in the chat. Love it. Geodude, Desmond Bain.
I'm going Andrew Nemhard. I'm going Andrew Nemhard for sure.
I think I'm gonna
Norm Powell
go.
is very underrated too, though. Like I get Nemhard had his crazy
What?
playoff run. Norm Powell's a very good scorer. He's a very good six man, like reliable. Like he's a legitimately very good player. And I think people just think about him as like a throw in, just a guy on the Clippers. But like, if they're gonna be solid next year, they probably let Paul George walk because they have full confidence Norm Powell can give you 70% of the production. And I don't think that's really thought about.
I don't hate
70% of production is nasty. Because there's a whole defensive end behind that too. But I understand what you're saying. Like
Sure.
the buckets will be there, and they're not really worried about their defense.
Yeah, and Nemhard again.
Norm
If we're
Powell
going
is-
recency bias, Nemhard was crazy last time we saw him in a playoff setting. But does that make him
Yeah,
more
for
underrated
sure.
than Norm Powell? Norm Powell is very underrated.
Norm Powell feels
This is
more
a
like
great
a.
matchup, bro. This is a great matchup. This is tough.
I feel like Norm Powell at this point feels more like a known commodity where, like, yeah, like he's just Norm Powell. Like you just know that he's going to come out and he's going to give you some buckets. He's going to give you some defense. He's going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Where Nemhard still plays in Indiana. And there is a boost in the underratedness that you get when you play in Indiana of +5. So there might be that, like, that might put him over the edge where Norm Powell plays in LA. Your man Nemhard plays in Indiana.
Yeah, plays in
I would
LA.
say-
Come on, it's the fucking Clippers. That does not mean that doesn't count as plays in LA. The Chargers play in LA too. They don't get no clout boost. They're the Chargers. Same thing as the Clippers. You don't pretend they're the Lakers here.
I would say
I'm
Nemhard
not
is
gonna say
probably
that.
more underrated because
Don't bring your team into it. Do not bring the Chargers into it. The Clippers still have more clout than the Chargers.
No, they don't. They just have Kawhi Leonard at this moment. When Kawhi Leonard leaves, they will have zero clout again. They do not have more clout than anybody.
All right, start another poll right now. Quick side tangent. Who has less clout or who has more clout, the Chargers or the Clippers?
I mean, the Chargers have their clout from the San Diego days, but they don't have a local fan base. But I don't know actually.
The Clippers probably
know.
have
when did
more.
when did the Chargers move?
Like
What,
5
3
years
years?
ago.
Oh, it's 5?
It's been a while now, like 2019, like 2018 maybe. It's been a while.
Damn.
They still don't have anything.
Yeah.
Dude, this is our closest poll so far. Right now it's 50. Oh, actually, it's 50-50 now. It was 52%
Okay.
Norm. Now it's 50-50.
I will lean towards Andrew Nemhard because I feel like to the average casual NBA fan, if you go ahead and if your team gets Norm Powell in a trade, you're going to be a little bit more excited than Andrew Nemhard when you're going to get the same overall production from both of these players because I think they're
You probably
pretty
get better.
close in like tiers. You know, you're definitely going to get better with both, but I think they're gonna like look at Andrew Nemhard as just like a guy. Who has a higher 2K overall? That should be factoring into this too. That helps.
I have no idea. But Nemhard got up to 54% of the poll, so we're going with the chat. Nemhard continues. This is gonna be such a nasty bracket of these crazy ass
I know.
conversations.
We're moving the goalposts like a mug.
You have to. It's an inherently unsubjective conversation, so it's gonna be nonsense the whole time. All right, real quick one: Trace Jackson Davis or Jeremy Sohan?
Go cook, Mo.
I don't know. I think Jeremy's like a little bit hated now.
Yeah, because the point
For
guard thing.
reasons that
People
are
think
out
he's
of
like
his
fucking
control.
dog shit.
Yeah, exactly. And also on top of that too, he has like random beefs with like LeBron, and so people were just like,
Oh
fuck
yeah,
that guy. So
Wait, he was beefing with Bron?
yeah.
missed
He
that.
was like, what was he saying? I forget.
he said some shit post game and also like during the game too. He's like had like a mini scuffle with LeBron
He
and
kept
shit
tweeting
like
about
that.
it too. He kept trolling the fans. Basically, I think he was just like
Yeah.
not bowing down to the king, and everyone was like, "Wait a minute, respect him."
Wait a minute, respect him. How dare you?
We gotta go
First
Sohan.
thought is
Sohan.
great.
People, because of the Wemby point guard thing, think Sohan's the worst player in the NBA because Pop had him in a ridiculous role.
That's very funny though.
Jalen
Yeah,
Johnson or
Jalen
Grayson
Johnson.
Allen?
Grayson Allen was the most efficient 3-point shooter in the NBA last year.
Yeah.
No one cares.
No one gives a fuck. Everyone said this
Yeah.
guy's dirty and we hate him. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Ted Cruz.
I kind of
Yeah.
want to say Jalen Johnson though, because Jalen Johnson should have been most improved, but the injury stuff got in the way, and I think he would have like broken out onto the scene. So now we have to do this whole thing for another year about, oh, y'all don't really understand. Like the Hawks are actually okay because they have Jalen Johnson. Like they're building something or they have a piece. And Grayson Allen, yes, again, shout out to you. Do it again. I just want to see.
Do it
I
again.
just want to see.
Do it again. It's hilarious. I think we'll win,
all right, right another poll. We got 55% Grayson Allen, but people are still voting. Let's see what you guys think. So Jalen Johnson probably he has a bigger gap though between how good he is and how people think he is. You know, people hate Grayson Allen, sure, but like he's just a good role player. It's not that big of a deal. Jalen Johnson's like low key on like maybe low level All-Star trajectory one day. Yeah, can he be as good as somebody who's made All-Star 1 or 2 times?
You're right.
Not
I think
impossible.
considering like what his ceiling potentially could be, which is like sneaking in an All-Star 2, 3, or max 4 times throughout his career. A lot of people.
That's Hall of Fame. That's Hall of Fame stuff. 4 All-Stars.
For All-Stars Hall of Fame. That's
I mean,
what
you can get into the.
I guess.
You
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Exactly,
Sneaking into an
exactly.
All-Star game, I think I'm leaning towards Jalen Johnson way because they don't understand how truly like high a ceiling is.
Let's go Jalen Johnson. Let's keep it pushing. Chat voted Jalen Johnson. I agree.
So,
We don't got to show Grayson Allen too much love. Shout out making the list. Peyton Pritchard or Bam Adebayo? Bam is one of the most slept on stars. People don't quite realize just how good he is. But Peyton Pritchard gets no burn, and people swear he's a bucket. So, like, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Peyton Pritchard is a 79 overall in 2K.
Yeah.
That's pretty high, actually, for what he's done.
That's very high for a guy who doesn't play.
That's pretty
Oh my
fucking
God.
high.
79. He's almost an 80. You're telling me that the Celtics have 80 overalls as their 12th man?
He's good.
That's so
He's good.
generous.
He's a bucket.
They gave him a 3 overall boost for hitting 1 shot in the finals because it was a half.
Oh my God, you guys are Peyton Pritchard haters. What did I just step into just now? What is
Bam's
going
so
on?
underrated. Bam's like never won a DPOY somehow. People don't think about him in this like best center conversation when he's extremely high. I remember one time I said he's better than Sabonis, and all hell broke loose in the comments. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Bam is so much better. Like, people do not take people take him for granted because he's not like an aesthetically pleasing scorer.
He's also legitimately the 4th best center. Like there's not really a lot of wiggle room. He is 4. It's like
Yeah, it's him or Wemby. Like they're pretty close. Like that's the only competition.
The
fine.
fact that
I'm not-
Peyton Pritchard is a 79 overall. Now, mind you know who else was a 79 overall?
Who?
Grayson Allen.
Oh,
You know
come
who else
on.
was 79 overall? Norman Powell.
So was it Peyton Pritchard just got married? Come on, man. Shout out him.
Oh, he did.
Shout out
He did.
him. I hope it's
Yeah,
a
we're
great
leaning
marriage.
Bam.
Doesn't make
We're
him
leaning
more
Bam for sure.
underrated than Bam. Bam Monte.
Yeah.
Bam it is.
That's great.
Next one. Jared Allen or Anthony Simons?
Jared Allen. Or
Jared
Anthony
Allen.
Simons.
Just because
Yeah, I'm leaning Jared.
He really is swaggerless and he's a nerd and like and then he had the quote where he was like the lights are too bright, so everyone kind of you can duck on him for that. But Jared Allen's nice.
He's
and his
genuinely
offense,
so
his offense has gotten so much better over the last couple years, where people might just think about Jared Allen as being this like defensive shot blocker. No, he can get some buckets too. He can do that
for sure. Yeah, Jared. We've talked about it. I think Jared Allen's one of the most underrated players in the entire NBA. You free him from the shackles of playing next to another center, essentially, and both guys are gonna look a lot better. That's clear. Anthony Simons is dope, pretty underrated, but like just a little bit. Like he has a lot to prove. that he is deserving. Most of his underratedness is like projecting, like, I think he could do this if given a certain circumstance or whatever. We know what Jared Allen's capable of, and a lot of people don't.
Jared Allen is that good. No slight to Anthony Simons. Like when it comes to all the names that we put out so far on this list, I would probably lean towards Anthony Simons. He should escape to the second round of this, but Jared Allen is just naturally like that. On top of that,
Yeah.
he's Jared Allen. No one knows he's like that.
I love the chat right now. Everybody that has like their Avi is like their favorite player or their favorite team. They're all spamming so and so better be on this list. So and so better be on this list. It's like so much of like my guy better be on this list. Someone said Kuzma should be on this list.
You're crazy. Why would
could be? He could be.
He's 28. What are we talking
yeah.
about?
I mean, Kuzma's underrated, I guess, but doesn't have to be on the list. You know, it's not a grand tragedy if he's not, and he's not. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you.
Kyle Kuzma. Okay.
Ooh, someone said Simone Fontecchio. He should have on this list. I forgot about him. It's a good pull.
He's gonna do numbers in Detroit for sure.
See, I didn't just pull all the nerdy role players nobody knows about because then it wouldn't be interesting. I had to put a combination of different levels of player. But man, so Simone Fontecchio discourse would have shook the nation.
Shook the nation. We're
Nas
so bad,
Reed
bro.
or Scotty Barnes?
Go ahead, Cook Isaac.
I don't. You guys tell me. Tell me what you guys think first, because I gotta type this poll.
I think everyone understands how good Nas Reed is. You had the governor of Minnesota, I believe, like just went ahead and tweet Nas Reed throughout the Minnesota's run.
Bro, they were getting tattoos. They were getting tattoos of Nas Reed. He is literally forever cemented in Minnesota's hearts. Like, no,
that also means he's no longer underrated because everybody loves Nas Reed. Everybody recognizes him as greatness. He is awesome. Was underrated heavily even last year, but now not so much. I think people realize he won Sixth Man of the Year. That's precisely how he should be rated, as the best bench player in the league, not as like a superstar. No, he's very popularly rated now. And Scotty Barnes is shunned to Canada, where NBA fandom goes to die outside of the borders, where the Canadian fans ride for them. Shout out Canadians, but people in America don't give a shit about anybody that plays in Canada. So you're perpetually going to be underrated if you play in Toronto.
Yeah, these days I see more memes about Scotty Barnes than him actually as a player. So I'm leaning Scotty.
Yeah, and every time that like there's a Twitter thread or something, or like a start bench cut, and somebody includes Scotty Barnes with whoever may be, Palaban, Caro, Chet,
He's
whatever.
so easily out every time.
Yeah, everyone's like, get his ass out of here. And he should be in those conversations. It's not crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
And the chat also agrees. We got 63% Scotty Barnes. You know, if you can blow out Nas Reed in a fandom poll, that means you're pretty underrated because Nas Reed has shooters.
Yeah.
Colin Sexton or Miles McBride? Oh, we're getting nasty
Interesting.
here.
Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride.
Yeah, I mean, Deuce McBride or Colin Sexton.
Very
overlooked players.
One's in New York. One was in Utah.
Yeah. Yeah, you listen. It's the opposite of like a Clippers tax or whatever tax. We got to give like the opposite. What's the opposite of a tax? A boost. We got to give a Utah Jazz boost to everybody on this list because you get so underrated playing for that team.
The stimulus check.
Yeah, the Utah Jazz stimulus. It's got to go Colin Sexton. Someone said both are bums. There you go. That's how you know he's underrated because this guy thinks Colin Sexton is a bum. That's outrageous.
This guy thinks Deuce McBride is a bum. Maybe he's just a bozo.
Deuce McBride is more top of mind.
Maybe he just doesn't know ball.
For sure.
Chat is spamming Colin Sexton outrageously, so it's got to be Colin Sexton. Ooh, a real nerdy matchup here, y'all. Aaron Nesmith or Denny Avdija?
Give me Denny. Ooh, wait, hold on. Actually, Aaron Nesmith is a demon on
Relax.
defense. Aaron Nesmith is a demon on defense, and his shooting is nice. But once he starts dribbling the ball, that's when it gets really dicey. But Denny Avdija doesn't have those issues. He's great at defense, can handle the ball in transition, of course, and his shooting has taken a turn. I'm leaning Denny Avdija, not astoundingly, but pretty confidently, because he's just Denny in Washington, or he was in Washington. Now he's in Portland. Everyone's like, okay, cool.
Man, Aaron Nesmith was a part of a conference finals run, and he was not a small part.
A fraudulent one.
Sure, I agree. They got lucky as hell with some injuries, but nevertheless, they made it. And I don't know if they could do that without his wing defense. You take away his perimeter defense, who do you have left to guard anybody good? Not a lot. He is carrying a lot defensively there. Good, obviously a great shooter. This is close.
Denny has played in unserious conditions.
He has
for the last couple of years. Like nobody knows what's been going on in Washington for the last 2 years. If I told you, right, that quietly they had lost 27 straight games, right, where the Pistons had lost 28, nobody would have known. You would have still believed me because you would have been like, oh yeah, like it's the Wizards, they suck. I I think it's Denny by a little bit. I'm on the same time as Mo. I don't think it's a lot.
Hmm.
But just because recently Neesmith was able to get a little bit of shine in the conference finals. You
Yeah, I mean,
had you had some nationally televised games where I would like to know when the last time Denny played on national TV.
He might
yeah,
have like 3 nationally televised games his entire career.
it's Diddy so easily, man.
All right,
Shout out
Denny,
to
it
Aaron
is.
Neesmith.
There we go. Next one,
Uh
J
oh.
Dub or Herb Jones.
Uh oh.
Ooh, two of the most underrated players in the league. Two amazing players in the role. Fan favorites. This is tough. Somebody has to lose, and I don't like that. I randomized this order. I never would have did this on my own accord because this hurts my soul.
I think I
I'm
think
leaning
Herb
J Dub. I think.
Jones. Yeah, I think
Chat,
Herb
chat.
Jones.
Don't vote who's better. Vote who's more underrated.
Yeah,
I think Jalen Williams is more underrated.
yeah. Herb
I think
Jones
you might be
already
right.
has a stamp of approval from the entire NBA community and like also like the voters and shit like that too, as one of the best defenders that the NBA has to offer. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, has straps and he single handedly can carry a defense, and that's crazy as hell considering he's just a regular sized wing, bro. Ain't nothing special
Okay.
about him. He doesn't have an uber athleticism or whatever it is.
Jalen
So I'm
Williams is
leaning J Dub.
viewed as a very good young player, right? Like B
Mhm.
plus young player. I think he could be like a star. Do you agree?
Yes, but the
Yes.
average fan wouldn't agree with you.
Okay, I
That's
agree.
the
I know,
issue.
exactly. So he's viewed as like really good and promising. He's cool, sidekick to to Shea, but I think he could be like a top 15, 20 player in the league one day. Herb Jones is viewed as a really good role player. He's a really good role player. Like I don't know if the gulf is as big as it is for J Dub.
No, I think no. J Dub is. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. J Dub is
Mhm.
more underrated. Uh,
But that's
in
only
a
because of like the his role in the NBA and
Exactly,
what
exactly.
like
Most
people
people
don't
don't.
know.
Most people look at him and see him as like a second, third option. While a lot of us realize that if he were to be a first option or just have more responsibility on a non-Thunder team, he could be like as good as your favorite young players. And I think that's the disconnect here. Is right now chat has 57% Herb Jones, and I think they're mistaking that because less people know Herb Jones. But that isn't necessarily the question, right? Underrated is how big is the gulf between how they're perceived and how good they actually are. And I don't think people quite realize that J Dub could be like as good as like I mean, maybe not even say names, but he could be in like a Scotty Barnes
Hey
conversation. That
Paolo,
wouldn't
you
be
know you want to
crazy.
say that.
Sure, as Paolo, Scotty Barnes, Chet, like he's as good as all these guys.
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree
so
with you.
that
I'm not
so
gonna.
he's more underrated.
Yeah, but if you're to tell that to, if you're to tweet that Isaac or something like that, they'll be like, "You're such a moron. You don't know anything." L mind or whatever the hell.
But
Like,
also, 2K
you're
gave
right.
him an 88 overall, which is outrageously high.
They gave him an 88.
But
They gave
That's
everybody in the
shocking. Not
playoffs
to
a
say that he
stupid
didn't
boost.
deserve
So
it.
maybe we don't gotta disregard 2K because they did some stupid shit in the playoffs last year. They gave Kyrie a 95.
J Dub is also coming off. Oh wow, that's actually ridiculous. So
95.
Oh, no, he was a
J Dub.
94 and Anthony Edwards was a 95.
Okay. J Dub is coming off of a very bad playoff run. So
True.
there could be a section of people that are going into this year and being like, see, he's not really that good. He's not like he doesn't have that kind of ceiling. He can't do it in the playoffs. Da, 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 da. So I feel like we're all on the same page here. It's Jalen Williams.
All
He's
right. Well,
more
the three
underrated.
of us outweigh chat. Sorry, y'all. We're not going with you. You lose. 55% voted Herb Jones, and we don't give a fuck.
Woohoo!
Jalen Williams, you continue on. It hurts to lose Herb Jones in a bracket of underrated players in the first round, but
Hey,
tough
man,
decisions had to be made.
it's about matchups.
Kobe White or Trae Young? Another good one between like a good role player no one thinks about and a very overhated star.
Give me Trae Young.
Yeah, this is simple for sure, Trae Young, because he's simply overrated or overrated, my bad, overhated on a continuous basis. And Derek White has continuously gotten his flowers. JJ Redick over here in like
Kobe
November
White.
was giving this man, yeah, my bad, Kobe White. Oh, this is Kobe White. I thought Derek White. I don't know why I
Nope.
said thought Derek White. Hold on,
I know
hold on,
why,
hold on.
because
This
both the
changes
last
my
names are
answer
White.
probably. Yes, but this changes my answer.
Simple.
This changes my answer. Although I'm a Trae Young stan for sure, it was a real shot of Kobe White
1-1.
winning the MIP award.
Ooh, it started off as Trae Young at 75. Now it's plummeting. Now it's at 67%. Think
What?
long and hard about this one, chat, because this is interesting. I'm gonna go Trae as well, just because I think he's besides Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid, he's the most hated star player in the league right now. And I don't think he should be. I think he's very good. I think he's commonly talked about as being overrated and not a winning player and all this bullshit, which I just think is not true. And sure, Kobe White is. I don't even think Kobe White's that slept on. I think he's good, but he's just getting good, right? Like last year was his first year really making that jump.
Yeah.
And like it was more like a showing promise jump that like, oh, he's about to be something. He's not
My
necessarily
thing is with
anything
him
great yet.
is like I don't know how good he can be. That's why I'm just like,
Yeah, like I
I
don't
can't
know
really
if
get a gauge on him.
yeah, he's a good player, but I don't know if I necessarily view him as like a star in the making that people need to really wake up or anything.
Yeah, or like an essential piece to like a championship or a team or a sought after piece. Someone like Denny Avdia is, because who the hell's like moving? What lottery team is making moves like that we've seen for that Portland did for Denny Avdia? Like that's just rare. It's a clear fit, and I don't know if Kobe White is viewed in that same light.
Yeah, and
So
listen,
I'm gonna
chat's
take
still at
Trae.
67% Trae Young. I think we got to go against the young MIP hopeful.
Yeah, let's do it.
That team's gonna be so weird, man. Is Josh Giddey gonna start?
Lonzo Ball's back too.
Maybe.
That team is nasty. He's gonna
Dyson
start
Daniels
for sure.
or Derek White?
Dyson,
I'm going Dyson Daniels.
for
Is Derek
sure.
White even
Dyson
underrated
Daniels.
anymore? There
Derek-
was all-star combo for Derek White. Like, can we even
Yeah.
call him a little bit underrated anymore?
There we
He's,
go.
he's an Olympian.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
underrate an Olympian.
He got to Team USA. Like no,
He's a
He
gold
got
medal.
picked over Jalen Brown, bro. He got picked over the Finals MVP of his own team, just for the love of the game. I think Dyson Dan. I also this is a bad matchup for sure for Derek White because like he would lose in the first round against anybody. But Dyson Daniels, in my opinion, will be genuinely one of the most underrated players in the entire NBA going into next year. Was last year as well, because he's just like in a swamp of just super talented perimeter players in New Orleans. But his perimeter defense and just his knack for just being in passing lanes and knowing how to move his feet, and
This
also
man is
just, like,
selling us a lot of Hawks
strength and some
propaganda. I
more
forgot.
I'm just being real. I'm being real. He's
No big
so
deal.
good.
I'm finna
He's
mute
so
you.
good. He's so good, bro. He's so good. Mute me, I'll
Calm
destroy this
down.
entire channel.
It's so good. It's so good. Calm down. So I'm gonna say in a vacuum, I'm taking Derek White for sure. Derek White is much, much better, but he's also much, much more recognized than Dyson Daniels.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone said, "Where's Julian Strother?" I did not
Come
think
on,
to
brother.
put Julian Strother on this list, but that's
good name.
solid
Good
name. We'll see if
Yeah.
he can really come clutch this year and replace
He's gonna go
KCP. But-
crazy.
all right, on to the second round, the round of 16. We're moving.
Moving.
Aaron Wiggins or Keegan Murray?
Aaron Wiggins,
Mo?
and
This
I
is-
will not elaborate.
This is tough. Because Aaron Wiggins again doesn't have no name recognition. Keegan Murray is Keegan Murray, cool dude. People recognize him here and there. I guess I'll say Aaron Wiggins, but what's really carrying him is like he's Aaron Wiggins. Like his
He's
name
so
is just like carrying
unknown.
him to this.
He might win this, honestly, because nobody outside
That's
of
what I'm
hardcore
saying.
fans know. He's probably the most underrated player in the league.
Like the second
Right.
that you said Wiggins earlier, I was like Andrew Wiggins. I'm like, why? You know,
Yeah.
like that's what like correlates in my head. I hear Aaron Wiggins. I'm like,
I think he might win. We made a TikTok like maybe about a month ago now where I ranked my top 10 most underrated players. I think I had him at 3. It's like he's very high up there. I think he might win this list.
could he start on a lot of teams?
Someone said, "Who is Aaron Wiggins?" See, some of our chat doesn't even know.
Don't even know what he looks like, bro. Damn, they can't put a picture to the face.
I know earlier, I only know this because I was editing and obviously pulling up pictures of these guys. But like a couple months ago, I Googled Aaron Wiggins, tried to find a PNG of him to put in a TikTok edit. It didn't even show his picture. It showed Lou Dort. The NBA website was glitched and didn't show his right face.
It might be Aaron
Oh,
Wiggins.
man.
Bro. Damn.
Sorry, Keegan.
I'm
Murray.
going Aaron Wiggins.
Aaron Wiggins' insanity run continues. Trey Murphy or Devin Vassell?
I'm going Trey Murphy. Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell gets it for one reason, or he loses for one reason. That man got over $200 million. That man is paid like he is known, and he is not moving on in my bracket.
Wow,
His bank
sounds
account
like
is
you're
not
hating.
his bank account. No, shout out to
What does that
Devin
have to do with
Vassell.
anything, though?
No, nothing. Well, it actually does have stuff to do, but like he clearly like is a good basketball player, and the
Yeah.
fact that like when everybody was hating on Sohan, it's like, man, it's Wemby. Like there's this other guy like Vassell, like he's cool
Yeah,
too, you know. Like it's
yeah,
just them two. That like the fact that you had that boost, and whenever Devin first got the contract, when you first get $200 million, then the initial shock
yeah,
of who the hell is Devin Vassell? Why is he
yeah.
getting $200 million?
True.
Like all
You
we're
told me.
past all of that. He's rising up. People kind of know that. I'm sticking firm to this that Trey Murphy. People don't know. They don't know that he is like as good as he is, and
Yeah.
all of the shine on for the Pelicans wings goes towards Herb Jones and not towards Trey Murphy.
Yeah, I think in the same way that Wiggins is gonna make a deep run because nobody knows him, Trey Murphy's gonna make a deep run because his own team underrates him. Like that
Mhm.
is pretty hard to like beat when your own team hides you on the bench and doesn't give you your full shine. That's a good case.
It's very
Okay,
good.
okay, that's fair.
And also chat is putting Trey Murphy with 71%. One of the bigger blowouts of the day.
I'm telling you, number one seed.
Yeah, that's fair. Desmond Bain or Andrew Nemhard?
Desmond Bain or Andrew Nemhard?
I'm going Bain pretty fucking
I'm,
easily.
I'm I think I'm going Desmond Bain too.
Someone
Why?
said Bain gets a lot of credit these days. Yeah, I guess so. But how
Credit
much
for
credit
what?
does he? I don't really know
Nemhard
how
just
Bain is
feels more.
perceived.
Nemhard feels more trendy rather than we actually like him and we actually think that he's a good basketball player. The Pacers are coming off of this conference finals run, so he's fresh off of everybody's mind. So I think that people are like, oh yeah, like I kind of can recognize him.
Hmm.
Whereas the Grizzlies have been irrelevant for a year and a half now.
Me
Yeah,
personally, I'm gonna lean Nemhard simply
we know
because
you
I
are.
think people don't understand how essential of a piece he is to the Indiana Pacers' future. Him alongside Tyrese Halliburton, like that's the pairing for the next 5 to 7 years that they're gonna
I don't
build
think
and
it
invest
is. You
around.
say that. I don't necessarily. No, it's not.
That's what
Like
I'm
he's
saying. Yes, it
no, it's
genuinely
not.
is because
He's not this
he.
build. He's not this like young
What makes you
co-star.
say that? It's not. It's not. I'm not saying he's a co-star. No one ever said that. That's not the words I put in my mouth.
Well,
He
I
is
mean,
he is a great backcourt partner who provides a lot of things that Tyrese Halliburton just simply does not have in his game when it comes to they
sure,
play
he's a good
at
player.
two completely different paces.
Let me
Defense
say
is
this:
tremendous. Can be a good secondary passer as well. Like
if
I
they
think he is
build,
the guy that you want to keep there.
if they're building a contender one day, I don't think Nemhard's going to be this shooting guard starting next to Tyrese Halliburton. I don't think it's like. Again, this isn't anything to do with the underrated in
It
this
doesn't make it
category.
worse. Or
No, this isn't anything to do with the underrated category. But what you're saying of like he's this foundational piece next to Tyrese, you're describing it like they found like the young Paul George, who's like the perfect fit next to Tyrese, and like it's glove in hand. He's very, very good. I like him a lot. I don't view him quite on that level.
I think he's like I don't want to say he's like a foundational piece, but he's like a building block to help like cement your legitimacy as a team. And yeah,
Okay.
that's what he is. That with your reaction right there, in my mind, he already won this fucking bracket for sure. And
No, it was just like
he
he's not
already
the
won.
foundation. He's just the block. I was like, okay.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Just a
Let me
piece
just
there.
let me think of this. But okay, right. Listen, he's underrated for sure. I feel okay with Bane winning this specific matchup.
I'm going Bane.
People in
Sleepers.
the comments of the
Noted.
pod have been noticing that Mo fucking loves the Indiana Pacers. Last year he was writing for what's his name,
Benedict Mathurin.
Mathurin, the guy who was originally the foundational piece next to Tyrese. Now it's
Exactly.
Nemhard. You rap for Siakam, Jarris Walker, Tazwani. You are a Pacers fan.
Don't ever say that. I'm not. I don't.
You
don't
are.
affiliate
You
me with
are.
none
You
Indiana.
are.
No, I'm not. No, 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 no.
You
no.
love the Pacers. It's okay. You can love the Pacers. It's fine. People like Indiana. You can
Don't
be one
say
of them.
that in public. Holy shit, man! I don't love the
It
Pacers.
makes sense though. It
Wish I
makes
had a
sense
hoodie.
though.
Wish
He
I had a
loved.
hat.
He's a Paul George fan, right? He
That
probably
too.
Y'all getting me
yes,
hype, man. I don't love the Pacers.
yes.
You're not beating these allegations, Pacers, man. I'm gonna get you a Pacers jersey.
If Tyrese Halliburton was like really cool, you would be riding for the Pacers all day. I think you might just be ashamed because Tyrese Halliburton is getting a lot of jokes right now, but you like them.
They're
You know, just
cool.
live
I
your
like the
truth. Just live
pieces.
your truth as a Pacers fan. It's okay. It's
It's
nothing to
not
be
my
ashamed of.
truth. God.
Someone
Never
said
talking about the
Donovan
pieces
addressed the
again.
corn allegations.
What corner
Man,
allegations?
listen, so we was out eating ramen, and first of all, I ordered extra corn
Oh,
with mine because I just wanted to put corn into my ramen. I didn't think that they would put enough. They brought out a big side bowl of corn,
a
and
mountain.
they did, and they brought it to me. Mind you, everybody else at the table also got extra corn.
Not
However,
everybody, just you.
it was not just me. It was not just me. But
It
mind
was
you,
just you.
because the corn was so big, you were able to share it, right? So everybody was able to share off of one bowl. But then by the time mine came, because I was the last person to get my bowl, there was like 3 bowls of ramen in front of me. And then Isaac felt the need to lie and I get it, right? Jokes over facts, right?
Look at this picture.
We're just
Look
here
at
for
this
a good time.
screenshot.
And now everybody thinks that I'm just like over here munching on corn all the time. That wasn't me. That wasn't
Look
me.
at
I
this.
didn't eat all of
There's a
that.
mountain of corn in his bowl,
I
a
didn't eat all of
secondary
that.
thing of corn next to him,
Look at
and
the
this big ass
video.
thing of corn right here in the front.
Look at. I'm telling you right now, this corn, the one that's in my bowl right now, is like half of the bowl. And look at the bowl closest to Isaac, right? That is because that's his corn. That's not mine.
I didn't order corn.
Corn
I would never add corn.
investigation.
It's
I added
not
no
mine.
corn to my ramen. I did not order that.
It's not mine.
I never asked for corn.
It's not mine. And I was pegged as this like crazy corn loving guy who just orders mad sides. I didn't know that one, it was that big, and they weren't all mine. I didn't order 3 sides of corn.
Man, it's like
Corn lover.
someone
Commander
said, "Bro,
corn."
spawn camps corn."
I was very upset.
All right, back to the list. Jeremy Sohan or Jalen Johnson?
uh,
Go Jalen
I'm leaning
Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
Sohan
Jalen
is cool, but I do feel like he's a little bit closer to his ceiling than
yeah.
Jalen Johnson is.
Yeah.
And once again, like we still haven't seen Jalen Johnson play at that level for an extended period of time because of the injuries last year. So I'm going to take Jalen Johnson.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. Again, I think he's one of the guy who has a bigger gulf between his perception and his ceiling, and I think that means a lot for an underrated talk of like we think this guy's about to be really, really good. So I'm cool with that.
True.
We move.
Ooh, Bam Adebayo or Jared Allen?
See, this is ooh. Okay.
Underrated.
I think
Bam's kind of underrated, but he is an Olympian. He is a DPOY finalist. He is all these things, and that we think he deserves a little bit more recognition. But it's like a little bit more recognition, you know, not like we're saying he needs to be heralded as an MVP. Jared Allen gets no recognition at all, so I think it's got to be Allen.
Yeah, he's one of the best. I don't know,
I'm
off
going
the top of
Jared
my head,
Allen.
maybe 8 best centers in the entire NBA, and no one treats him like that. No one is like, oh, Jared Allen is a problem. Not to say that he is,
Jared Allen's a problem.
but he kind of
Man's
is
a
on a
bucket.
night basis at times.
Is he the 6th best center in the league
No.
right now?
I don't. I
probably
wouldn't
not.
say that off the top.
But he
I
might be
wouldn't
like
say
8th or
that.
9th, like Bo said.
Yeah.
Who do you have
6.
ahead of top five
Hey,
for sure?
hey, we're recording our centers.
Oh,
talk
true. I
tomorrow,
forgot about
so
that. Forgot
everyone
about
zip
that.
it. We'll have the conversation literally
I
this
forgot
time
about
tomorrow. But listen, he's gonna be in the top 10. I'll tell you that. I'll spoil it that much. He's in the top 10 centers.
See, now I have to think.
Scotty Barnes or Colin Sexton?
Colin Sexton.
Scotty
I
Barnes.
think I might lean Colin Sexton because Colin Sexton's treated like he's Norman Powell these days, and he's better. He's a better
Why are
version.
we
of
shitting on
Norman
Norman
Powell. He's in Utah. Sorry. But it's
I'm
true.
going
Colin
Scotty.
Sexton's treated like he's nobody for sure. He's treated like he's like actively bad and like not a winning player.
Yeah, they give him like I don't know. They just don't. They don't. A lot of people don't see and understand the true production and value that he brings. Yes, they don't.
What's
understand.
stronger, the Jazz stimulus or the Canada stimulus? They both give you a boost of not caring.
One guy's out the country,
Yeah,
That guy's in Utah. That's worse than out the country.
Drake don't fuck with the Raptors anymore like that either. He don't be showing up to games like that as soon as
Well, that's
Kawhi
more of a
left.
Drake issue
Uh,
rather than a Scotty Barnes issue.
That doesn't fucking
Uh,
is
matter.
it? Is he just out because Scotty Barnes is there? Does he not fuck with Scotty Barnes?
no, I mean he's out because he's not like, he's not really like that. He took that job for some clout, and then
He's
he
not
moved
Captain
down here
Canada
to
anymore.
Houston.
He's Captain Houston.
Exactly.
Mm.
He got a Texas license too.
Shout out to Joaquin37 for tipping $4.71. He said, "Yo, I'm here. Sorry, I'm late. Why'd you guys start without me?" You got to tap in. Put those
My bad, bro.
notifications on.
I tried to tell these folks, wait, Joaquin's not here yet, bro. We had to go. We had like 300 people waiting.
There's always like little, just like little things in your voice whenever you say certain names.
Anything ethnic?
That just pops.
Joaquin. He's gonna start salsa dancing.
Why are you swinging your hip like that?
Shout out to Dylan Ward for tipping $3. He said Mo is a closeted Pacers fan and Donovan's a
is.
corn addict. Get them some help.
I'm not. That's not me.
What's wrong with being a Pacers fan? Not saying that I was one, but why do I need to get help?
All right, right now, Scotty Barnes has 56% of the votes in the chat. Again, it's a conversation of star who can be a really great like superstar maybe, or really good role player that's viewed as a nobody.
You know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm going Colin Sexton.
Yeah, give me Collins though. He was an all-star. Scotty, well, was he a replacement? Scotty
Yeah,
Barnes?
he was
Either
an
way,
all-star. Let's give him the credit.
either way,
He
he
was an
was
all-star.
on the team.
Yeah, so I'm gonna lean Colin Sexton for sure.
Okay, well there
He
we
doesn't
go.
have that
Colin
ceiling,
Sexton.
obviously, but quality player.
Denny or J-Dub?
J-Dub.
Underrated.
When it comes to underrated, I think I might lean Denny because people just simply don't know how good he is. People just see him. See, he was a top pick for Washington a couple years ago.
I think
When I say
J-Dub is
how
so
good
underrated,
he is,
man.
when I say how good he is, I mean like, yo, he's like a legit like rotational piece, and he could be a starter on a lot of teams. That's simply it.
Okay, well, if you're saying that people will sleep on him and he could be a starter is like the mountaintop, J-Dub can be a
Yeah.
superstar, I think. That's a bigger gulf, I think.
So my thing is I disagree when you say like he can be like top 15 in the NBA. I'm like he could be like top 25, 20 comfortably for sure.
He can be as good as Jaylen Brown is right now. I don't find that
I don't disagree. It's just Jaylen Brown's really good.
He's very good. It's no slight to Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is
Jaylen Brown is
fantastic.
good.
I think J-Dub can be just as good as Jaylen Brown.
If that's the belief with how the NBA views Jalen Williams still or right now, I guess you can lean J-Dub. That's not terrible.
Yeah, and again,
I'm just a
a
Denny
lot of
guy.
people view him as a good, but when they say J-Dub is good, I think they view it as like J-Dub can be, I don't know, Aaron Gordon, like a high-level player next to a superstar forever. And I think he's so far past that. I think he's legitimately like almost top-tier young star.
Who do you follow on Twitter? Because I feel like you say this. I feel like you say this a lot, but also at the same time, like I don't see necessarily that much disbelief in J-Dub.
I don't.
I think it's
disbelief.
Isaac's fandom for Jalen.
No, it's
kinda
not disbelief.
taking
It's
over a
not
little
hate.
bit.
It's not hate. It's not like Trae Young situation. I think
No,
it's just
no.
a not on top of mind thing. You know, I actually do remember Jackson Frank said that J-Dub is a
Damn,
top
you
30
know his
player right
name?
now. Yeah, he's a journalist I follow. He tweeted one time that J-Dub is a top 30 player right now, and he got ratioed to high hell. So there's been a few people that have gone on these hills with J-Dub currently and have gotten knocked out of the paint for it. But I don't really care about that too much. I think it's more just like he's not on top of mind because he's a second option, because he's behind Chet and Shea, that people just don't put him in these convos. He's not in these thoughts at all.
When
Not
people think of
necessarily hated.
OKC, do they think of like when it comes to the second best player, do they think of Chet or J-Dub? I think I'm leaning towards Chet probably. Or at least he gets more notoriety.
That's tough though. That's hard. I might go Chet too, but that's
Yeah.
they're neck and neck.
I'm not thinking about like who's better. I'm just thinking about who do people like recognize more. And I'm thinking Chet.
Yeah, sure. Right now the poll is 53% J-Dub, 47 Denny. It's close. It's going back and forth. Someone said I'm a Thunder fan. Man, I have zero ties to the state of Oklahoma. I would rather go anywhere else but Oklahoma. I have no love for the Thunder as an organization.
Damn. So much you don't freak with the Thunder? Okay. J-Dub it is.
Oklahoma's whack, man.
Oklahoma's so whack.
As a state, it's whack. I rock with the Thunder. They're one of my teams this year, but The state of Oklahoma is terrible.
You said like you made multiple trips there before in your life.
I have made multiple
Getting
trips to
real bored.
Oklahoma. It's
Oh
awful.
damn! I know. Damn. Okay.
No, they're all spamming talking about how much I love Oklahoma. They're all saying I love the Thunder. I do. I'm very high on the Thunder players, but just because I think those three players are incredible, nothing to do with the Thunder themselves.
Mm.
Ferris22 tipped $5. He said Isaac is a bigger J-Dub stan than Mo is a Pacers fan. That's unbelievable.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
not true. That's not true. No, it's
No,
not.
that's very true. That's very true. You've been
No,
on.
that's
You've
true.
been. Your tenure with OKC and Jada specifically has been much longer than my tenure with the Pacers. I've
That's
like
actually not
slowly
true.
built it up
But yours
over
has been
time.
disconnected because you started with Ben Matherin.
Yeah,
long
and I
before.
haven't said shit about them for like a minute, and then I was like, oh, this Andrew Nemhard dude is kind of cool.
You
And I
put
like
Jarris
soft launched
Walker
it.
as like one of the 20 best power forwards in the league, and
Isaac's
he didn't
relationship
play
is
like-
much longer, so therefore he is.
All right, okay.
No,
I'll
it's
take
about
it.
the same.
Okay,
It's
I'll
not.
take it. Whatever. Joaquin37 said, "This
Hey,
is
yo.
for you, Mo. You pronounce my name wonderfully, like my mama intended."
See, I know, I got you, Akeem.
And Axel tipped $1. He said Don is not a glazer, but he is a corn muncher. He got caught in 4K.
Come on, man. Like, that's
So,
not me. That's
Donovan,
not what happened.
As
You
a
have to
renowned
believe
corn
me.
lover, do you prefer it like that in a bowl or on a cob?
He loves the cob. He's a cobber. I can tell you that.
Oh shit! He didn't even say anything about that, dude. These allegations are pressing right now.
That man
Oh my
loves
God,
the
he's-
cob.
I'll say this. I do the corn on the cob is really good, man. And at least the way that it was served to us in the ramen spot, surprisingly cold. And I was actually kind of it wasn't good.
corn
So,
connoisseur, that's you.
This man's not being the corn allegations. Anyways, J Dub got 59% of the vote. We're going with Dub. Sorry, Denny Avdia.
wasn't me.
Trae Young or Dyson Daniels?
Ooh, same team?
Same
I'm
team.
leaning Dyson. I think Dyson Daniels should be a starter. Trae Young, like, cool. I think Dyson Daniels should be a starter, and it shouldn't be without like real question. And I think that he's probably not going to end up being a starter day one.
Trae Young's so overhated though. People talk about. I've seen people say things about Trae Young that like are so outlandishly hateful. People call
Like
him
what?
like the most overrated star of all time, the least winning player in the league. Just like truly spiteful things about his style of play.
Fun
and
fact,
his
you know how I know
ability.
Trae Young is like really overrated? Whenever I say he does like the most historic, like he's a historic player, y'all like, and you like scoff.
Oh, that's
Three
'cause you're
players in
in
NBA
love.
history.
That's 'cause
Three
you're in
players in NBA
love.
history who have averaged 25 and 10 multiple seasons. Russell
Stats off
Westbrook,
the dome?
Oscar Robinson, Trae Young. Bitch. There we go. Put him on his list. Run it. There we go. You can't name any other NBA players who did that. No LeBron, no Curry, no Luka, Jokic. Just those three right there.
All right, Trae Young wins. Whatever, save it. We're on to the Elite Eight, y'all. We're almost done with this bracket. And this should have been the finals, but the bracket broke the wrong way. Aaron Wiggins or Trey Murphy?
I say this: the winner of the bracket's coming out of this matchup right here.
Probably.
Damn.
I love. Actually, no, I'm not gonna lie. I like Aaron Wiggins a lot. Love is a very strong word. I like Aaron Wiggins a lot.
I'm going Trey Murphy.
He's not Trey Murphy.
He's not Trey Murphy. Nobody is. He's so good. Very few wings in like the role player category are as good as Trey Murphy.
I agree. I'm not super strong about either right now because I'm just like, I've never seen anybody talk about Aaron Wiggins on any
Exactly.
podcast or anything like that. But Trey Murphy has been talked about before. Rajon Rondo and DeMarcus Cousins and Rachel Nichols or whatever had like a segment and they were talking about, I think DeMarcus was talking about how Trey Murphy can be a creator and some more shit. And Rondo was like, huh, really? And that like he gets his shine. I've never seen that. And that clip alone has the deciding factor for me. I think I might lean in.
That's a good point. I mean, see, Wiggins is like a cheat code because he's the most under talked about role player in the league in terms of like awareness. So like, if we're in the spirit of
still so good.
underrated, if we don't let our biases of thinking Trey Murphy's better beat us, Aaron Wiggins is far less known and he's very good too.
I think I'm leaning
He's
Aaron
not
Wiggins.
Trey Murphy.
He's not.
It's not about who's better though.
No, but I'm saying even like the gap between how good they are slash
Chat, make sure
can
y'all
be
vote. We got to know about this one. This is a
versus
tough one.
versus what people think about them, right? Like if you look at Trey Murphy's stats right now, again, still very solid, right? Last year, averaged 15 and 5. That's still really, really good. But you might look at him and just be like, okay, like it's okay. He's still coming off the bench on his own team. The fact that he has to overcome his own teammate, not really known like that, and there's an entire unknown ceiling to Trey Murphy's game that we never
Aaron
know.
Wiggins had to overcome his own team too. I mean, Josh Giddey was eating up all the minutes consistently throughout the regular season and a lot during the postseason too.
Yes, but that was I consider that more coaching incompetence by Dagnall rather than like notoriety.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And yeah, and because the Pelicans, yes, you do have to play Trey Murphy more. You also have to figure out like you have to ship people out of town to play him. Where the Thunder could have just played Aaron Wiggins all along, and it actually would have been better for them.
Someone in the chat, Matthew said, "Tell Donovan to call his dad and see if he knows who Aaron Wiggins is."
That is a
That's the
great
best
way.
test. Call your
That's a
dad.
great
Ask
game.
him. Tell him to name you 3 defining characteristics of. Just ask him if he knows who Aaron Wiggins
You know
is,
Aaron Wiggins,
and after that, ask him to tell you something about his game. Here we go.
All right.
If
Yeah,
he can't
yeah.
do it, Aaron Wiggins wins, and he
And then
probably
ask him
wins
if
this
he
fucking
knows
bracket.
Trey Murphy too. Ask him if he knows Trey Murphy too, which he probably does. Hopefully he doesn't sell.
Dude, I hope he answers. This is gonna be so funny.
Wait, can you answer? Okay. Wait, hold on. Listen.
Hello?
Okay, hold on. I'm putting you on speaker. You're on stream right now. I'm asking. We're trying to figure out who's more underrated right now. I have.
We're picking, I'm at the airport picking up Karina.
No. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Never mind. Okay.
Never mind. My sister's coming back. Dang, she messed everything up. Anyways, I'm going to.
Right now, Wiggins has 51% of the votes. It's outrageously close. Y'all keep voting. This list. We need to get this poll to like 300 votes before I can fully decide who wins. Keep spamming it up because right now 51% Wiggins, 49% Murphy. I want to go Trey Murphy because I think he's like legitimately extremely good and
Okay.
crazy high ceiling. But nobody knows about Aaron Wiggins.
Yes, you're right. But how? Okay, so I shouldn't be saying this because I'm already set in stone. But to probably help you come closer to a conclusion, when it comes to Trey Murphy's ceiling, what does that look like to you?
What does Trey Murphy's ceiling look like to me?
Like,
Approximately the value of no, he made an all-star team. I was gonna say Chris Middleton, but he's an all-star, so I can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
But something similar. He's not gonna be quite as good of a one-on-one scorer, but he's a way better defender.
If that's the case, then it should be Trey Murphy.
No, better Michael
Like
Porter
OG?
Jr. Better Michael Porter Jr. Just below all-star level, I think. Maybe he can sneak into an all-star, but like highest level role player where he is an elite shooter, an elite versatile defender, can create with the ball in his hands a little bit, but he's not quite asked to because he has a lot of good teammates. Something like that. I don't know who I'm describing, but maybe Mikal Bridges, maybe. But I don't know. That's maybe a little too much.
You're thinking about the idealized version. You're thinking about how Masai was looking at OG.
Yeah, I guess. But who is that in reality? I don't know.
All right, my father. I texted him the questions. He knows who Trey Murphy is. He does not know who Aaron Wiggins is.
Aaron Wiggins, you win. You win the dad
Aaron
contest. There we go. And he also has 53% of the votes right now. So, Aaron Wiggins, congratulations on your victory.
No, upset.
You have made the Final Four, Aaron Wiggins. Wow.
This is the most clout he's gone in his life, probably. I'm just kidding. Just lying.
Desmond Bain or Jalen Johnson?
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, Desmond Bain probably gets a little bit too much credit compared to Jalen Johnson.
He's already there as an NBA player, and people know how good he is already, I feel like. Talks a lot of shit, too.
Okay, Jalen Johnson continues. We'll fly through that one. Jared Allen or Colin Sexton?
Jared Allen.
God, I don't know. Colin Sexton's kind of similar to Aaron Wiggins in this like completely overlooked conversation.
I don't want to put Jared Allen there because when it comes to like Cleveland and their issues and stuff like that, no one ever points. Everyone understands like that dude is good. Like he's not an issue, whatever. Whenever people criticize Cleveland, it's Darius Garland and Evan Mobley.
They also don't point to him because they don't think about Jared Allen.
Both things can be true.
All right, let's do a poll. Sexton or Jared Allen, y'all? Who is making the Final Four? We have 2 of the 4 people set in stone already. Who is joining them on the other side of the bracket?
Let me pull up Colin Sexton stats because I forgot.
How many
Oh,
points
he's
do you think he
nice.
averaged before that?
It's an
How many
efficient.
points do you think he averaged?
Okay, I know.
Yeah. How many points, Donovan? Before you look at it, just
Okay.
it'll prove a point. It'll prove a point.
I don't know, 17,
Hmm.
18,
Okay.
18.7.
And his
Okay.
very good efficiency.
All right, last year, Colin Sexton, 18.7 points, 4.9 assists, 2.6 rebounds, shooting 49% from the field, 39% from three,
Strike it
86%
down.
from the free throw line.
It's
Pretty
Colin
good.
Sexton.
Someone
It's
said,
Colin Sexton.
someone said, Isaac, call your mom and ask who Jared Allen is. She's going to say, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. But the tax return, man, what's going on? Who the hell? Jared
Right now,
Allen.
Sexton has 51% of the votes. Another very close one, y'all. Keep expanding up this poll.
Yeah, I
think it's
didn't
pretty
realize.
easy.
I didn't realize it was like that.
You're unfamiliar with this game?
Yeah.
I didn't realize the counter numbers were like that.
Well, there we go. Sexton, you move on. If Don was unfamiliar, that means the world is.
Yeah.
For the last spot in the Final Four, very good matchup between 2 high-level players. J-Dub or Trae Young? I gotta go Trae Young. Again,
Ooh.
Trae Young is the most outlandishly
that.
hated guard I've ever seen for the stupidest fucking reasons. Just pure vitriol thrown his way has to make him more underrated to me.
I'm going J-Dub.
You're going J-Dub. I can't do it. Trae Young is so underrated.
Dude, I've been so unbiased here throughout this entire thing. And I'm not gonna let my biases hit me just yet. Why are you going J-Dub, Donovan?
Because I think that there's still
Dude, it's so
I
easy
feel
with
like
Trae Young. It's so easy.
I do
I mean,
think
I don't know
okay,
if it's
I'll say this. I do think that there's still more people who think that Trae Young is like good than the other side. And I think that the people who hate Trae Young are extremely loud about it. And so I think it's a very like loud
Fair.
minority going against Trae Young. Whereas across the board, I don't think everybody realizes what J-Dub can do. Because I do think that right now, everybody understands that like OKC is still really good. You make the moves, you get Alex Caruso. That's a name that a lot of people know. But last year, it's like you have Shea, who's averaging 30, who's in the MVP, and then everybody else. And not to say that everyone thought that he was carrying a whole bunch of bums, but it was like Shea in tier, one completely by himself, and then the next person isn't until like tier 3. When I think that J-Dub can be in a tier 2 or in a tier 1B. I think Chet can be in a tier 1B, and so you kind of have that going for J-Dub. That's why I'm going him rather than Trae Young.
Wow.
I hear you. I want to agree. Again, I don't think it's necessarily a super vocal minority. I think it's more of a majority than you would think. I think a lot of people dislike Trae Young more than you would realize.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't like Trae Young either, but at the same time, like,
And there you go.
Yeah.
My gauge on this is
Trae
that
Young though.
okay, who do you think is actually?
Trae Young has 63%
already
of the
know
chat
it's
vote right now.
I think right now my biggest gauge on like how underrated Trae Young is, a lot of people think that Tyrese Halliburton is better, legit head to
He's
toe
not.
better than him as a player. And I think that's right there like tells me that Trae Young is still overrated as well. So I'm gonna lean
Trae
him.
Young, you're winning the vote.
Man,
Trae
Trae
Young,
Young
welcome
is
to the
about
Final
win.
Four.
He's about to win this.
Let him win something, damn, bro. You shit now. Okay, who cares?
First matchup of the Final Four. Aaron Wiggins or Jalen Johnson? If we let Aaron Wiggins beat Trey Murphy, he must beat Jalen Johnson. Aaron Wiggins, you're making the finals.
That's true. Put Aaron Wiggins. Put him in the final.
There we go. Moving on.
I don't have much resistance.
Yeah, nothing you can much say about that. Colin Sexton or Trae Young? If we let Trae Young beat J-Dub, you're beating Colin Sexton. Trae Young, welcome to the finals.
I don't know though. I don't know. Let's have the
Colin
conversation.
Sexton's really nice.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Again, there's still more people at this point who
I think
are
the
on the side that Trae Young is good
Mm.
than know that Colin Sexton even exists.
Mm.
Fair,
there's
fair. Like we cannot forget the Utah Jazz stimulus. They get some points for that.
These
They
days, whenever people think like the average basketball fan thinks about Colin Sexton, the immediate thing that they think about first is that
Alabama.
time back when he was in college and he had to play like 3v5
Slapping the floor.
basketball in Alabama.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Explain
They don't think
defense.
about him as like the NBA player. And then another thing too is like,
Relax.
yeah, I think I might want to lean towards Colin Sexton because he's genuinely like that. And he elevates a team offensively immediately because of on and off ball play.
The Sex Man currently has 52% of the votes, but we're still at 90 votes. So Chad, keep voting up. Let me see the
I love you,
representation from
Trae.
both sides. Let me make sure you guys are clear that you're going with Sexton.
It probably is Colin Sexton. Trae Young has been like this his entire basketball career from college to this point. Trae Young has been an extremely polarizing player, and
Yeah.
so he walked into the league, and there were already people like, not he's not that good. He's not this. He's not that. So that portion of people is always going to be there. Where Colin Sexton again,
Yeah.
people
But-
might forget that he's still in the league.
But that target that was set on his back is because of stupid ass like platforms like, other companies at the time would be like, oh, like next Trae Young, blah, blah, pulling up from blah, blah, and he can pass like da da da. Like,
I mean, he was doing that though.
yeah, you're right. But they're calling him
You know,
Steph,
like
so
it wasn't. I mean, it was the. I understand what you're saying. I'm not here to debate whether or not he is the source of him being overrated or underrated or not. All I'm saying is that Colin Sexton may not like
Dude,
if we ask the chat right now, did Colin Sexton, I don't know, average over 15 points per game last year? How many of them would get it right? If we did like a man on the street and did a who he played for and did Colin Sexton, how many people would know where Colin Sexton plays basketball?
Dude, the chat keeps bouncing back and forth. It's exactly
I know.
50-50 now. We make the final
So
decision.
close.
Donovan, who are you going with? Final answer,
I'm
one
going-
word.
Sexton.
Sexton. Mo?
I think I'm leaning with Trae.
Oh my god, it's down to me.
Yeah.
I almost feel like when it's a superstar, like there's an easy bias to go towards a better player, but I almost feel like that's okay when it's like a star people say is absolutely terrible, unwinnable
Yeah.
type of play style.
That
versus not,
unwinnable shit right there is
Exactly.
what carries me because people act like you can't build around him. No, the Hawks are just dog shit when it comes to building around anybody
and that's like
everybody.
a dramatic level of underratedness that has like more weight to me than just not being known.
That sways the entire like perception of this, and that sways like how people view him historically. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
No.
What?
I just saw what y'all was doing. I was texting my dad back here. I looked up and you guys picked Trae Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was 50-50. I got to go with the guy who's literally a star but treated like a bum. That's a different level of underrated than just not being known.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. In our finals, we have the most underrated star in the league, Trae Young, versus the most underrated role player in the league, Aaron Wiggins.
Now, how do we base this off of?
The fact that you can call somebody a star, you are not underrated. Stop that. Aaron
No.
Wiggins, come to the front. Come to the front. This is your title. Raise your trophy.
All right, let's make a poll. Wiggins or Trae? And again, it's most underrated, not better. Obviously, Trae Young's a better player, but how do you guys view his perception around the world compared to Aaron Wiggins? Somebody in the chat said Aaron Wiggins isn't even good. That should show you Aaron Wiggins is underrated because this motherfucker's delusional.
Aaron Wiggins plays like 15,
This guy said
16
he's not a
minutes in
role
the
player. He's a
playoffs.
G leaguer. Yeah, you do not
All
know
right,
ball.
that's ridiculous. Oh my god. Based off of that, I'm just like, all right, bro, let's put Aaron Wiggins in that.
Someone
bitch.
said that's not being underrated. That's being overhated. My God, that is the same thing. Two sides of the same coin.
I just wish sometimes I could see Aaron Wiggins in an expanded role so I can like have a better gauge on like how much I value someone like him. I think he's just as good as Andrew Nemhard as the
We
player.
need some basketball in our lives.
Aaron Wiggins versus Trae Young debates in the dead of the offseason. This is why you show up. This is why you watch. This is the most TD3
This is why we
ever.
play the game.
And this is why you should leave a like on this damn stream. Over
Facts.
600 people of y'all in here and only 425 likes. Really, it should be 500 likes in here.
Someone said, Donovan, can I see
You're
the
on
corn in your teeth?
Corn on your teeth. is
When you
funny.
eat corn, it gets all stuck in your teeth.
Put Aaron Wiggins in the final so we can end the stream. I can go.
Aaron
From
Wiggins
then-
has 61%
You
of the
going to
votes
get
right
some
now.
corn?
I'm,
Oh, you
no,
want to
I'm
go
done,
so bad?
shut up. I'm done being disrespectful.
Aaron Wiggins wins. Chat, spam corn time. It's time for Donovan to go get his nightly corn.
corn
Time. Corn time. Let me see the corn emoji spam in the chat. Put your corn lighters in the air.
Eater.
Aaron Wiggins, you're the most underrated player in the NBA. And this is the end of the stream. We'll see y'all later for corn time next week.
Y'all suck.